Please lay down or sit, but sit comfortably. That's the most important thing, to be comfortable right now. Then the next most important thing is to close your eyes. Just because we don't want any other stimuli occupying your mind right now other than this voice appearing. Thus, the third most important thing, but not directly a requirement per se, is to use a headset, headphones, in order to more or less leave the world out there for a little while simply focusing on this voice. However, if you cannot sit down and you cannot lay down and you cannot close your eyes and you cannot use a headset, then that's perfectly fine. No problem. But try listening deeply from the core of yourself as we bring forth a few words from the core of existence itself. From that place which is beyond all things physical, beyond all things mental, beyond all things emotional, beyond all colors, all sounds, all sensations, beyond, beyond, beyond. Do you know that you're perfect? Completely, utterly perfect. As perfect as the universe itself. Not even a smidgen more or less than anything else. This is you. Utter perfection. Now don't get it confused with thinking that there's nothing to better, to optimize, nothing to learn, that nothing needs to change. Indeed, nothing needs to change, but it will anyway. And you're not perfect in the way that you're done learning, that everything you do is pure love. No, not that kind of perfect. That kind of perfect, you will never actually reach 100%. Even if you live for 1,000,000 lives, you will never be that kind of perfect while experiencing something. This is simply because anything that is something exists in contrast to something else. And anything that can have contrasts will, by definition, not be able to be perfect. Because that which is perfect cannot change. It cannot learn. It cannot become anything else than what it already is. So, on the level of that which changes, on the level of experience, nothing will ever be perfect. Ever. There will only be a closing in to perfectness, to being more perfect, to being better and better and better, but never actually getting there. Just like the idea of infinity. Something infinite cannot actually exist, because you will always be able to add one more thing, one more inch, one more whatever. So the infinite cannot ever be infinite. But that's another story. Yet all of these things, I say, you are all perfect. Perfect beyond belief. Perfect beyond measurement. Beyond anything. You are the very life force itself. At the root, you are that which the entirety of existence springs forth from. Now this thingless thing is, in fact, perfect in the real way of understanding perfect. Because it is one. It is unchanging. It is undying, born. It is forever and always, right now, itself, the same. All that is comes from this. It is not an experience. It is beyond experience. Experience springs forth from it. Without this, there could be no experience. There could be no universe. There could be no existence. And since all of existence is birthed in this one perfectness, it means all that exists within as this oneness, this unchanging, undying, unborn oneness. And what this means is that you are this. It doesn't mean you were this and you're not it now, because now you're a human being on planet Earth in the galaxy of the Milky Way. No. That's not what it means. Because this one thing, less thing, only exists now. Since it's unchanging, it means there is no time. It is not before, and it will not be later. Before and later being states of a changing existence, of changing experience. which again all is contained within this changelessness. And this is where your mind will explode if you try to actually comprehend it. Because your mind is change. It is flux. The moment your mind stands still, completely, it disappears. Just like the rippling surface on a pond, being visible while the ripples exist. As soon as the ripples quiet down and disappears, the pond, the surface of the water, becomes a clear reflection. And all you see is the blue sky. Just as if the surface did not exist at all. And this is not a mind-shatteringly original thought at all. But it doesn't have to be. You still understand the analogy or the metaphor. And so you are perfect. Because you are that one. That unchanging oneness. It is dreaming you into existence. It is dreaming all of us into existence. We do not actually exist as individual pieces separated from each other. We do exist, but in truth, you and I do not exist. Simply, I exist. In the deepest core of the universe, there is one. And this one is the same one looking out through all eyes. This one is the same one which is sensing and being in all things and creatures. No matter what universe, no matter what existence, no matter what dimension, it is this one. And it was never anything else. So the biggest, greatest, most meaningless quest a being can embark upon is the quest to find one's own existence, one's own well from which one's own experience springs forth. And this is not an endeavor for the mind, because the mind is merely movement. The mind is change. The mind is an eternal loop, slowly changing. As we saw, as soon as the mind stops, it disappears. Thus, this one cannot be found in the mind, because it is not stuff. It's not content. It's stuffless and contentless. thus still the mind, but not through the use of mind. A mind trying to be still will make noise, exerting effort, which is change, which is flexing muscles. You cannot experience what is not something through the use of something. You must experience it directly. The mind is a filter. It will always color everything through itself, as itself, with itself. And thus looking for the oneness at the roots, you will only see a reflection of the mind seeking it. Being nothingness, it will change according to whatever belief the mind has about it. And the mind will simply be staring into a mirror. Wherever it looks, it will see itself. As a matter of fact, looking into the world is seeing oneself. So one must stop looking, no looking, because you cannot see that which is unseen. You cannot experience that which is unexperienced. And very well listened to and understood and tried to be grasped by the mind, these sound like philosophical nothings, complete fluffiness, meaninglessness, stupidity even. Laughably incomprehensible bullshit. That's what it sounds like. Understood by the mind, that is. And so do not utilize the mind in the search for your true essence. It's better to just sit here. In the body you have the experience of inhabiting and letting the mind be still. Completely. And then feel free to begin by noticing how you're not actually here. How this body of yours is not actually solid. Slowly we can dig deeper and deeper right here and now, simply by watching clearly, undisturbedly watching reality as it unfolds in this moment. So begin by silencing the mind, and there's an enormously never-ending long list of different meditation techniques and the likes that can be utilized to reach this stateless state. But all techniques and approaches are training wheels, and as soon as you master them, throw the training wheels away and don't nag and babble with your mind to yourself about that again. Just simply exist. Still. aware, conscious, present. Because at first our thoughts seem so real, so solid. Thoughts seem to be more solid than concrete, than stone, more solid than iron and metal. But as soon as you stop thinking, then even unseen ghosts seem more solid than thoughts. Because as soon as you stop thinking, there's nothing there. Except for a pure, clean awareness. In that moment, in this moment, the mind is no more. It is not there. It must be summoned through thought activity. And only while the thought persists, the mind exists. And so that's not solid. That's just a thought. And so be still, and the apparent solidity of the mind perishes. So there you are. Here you are. No thoughts, no mind, stillness, pureness, crisp awareness. And then you're stuck with your body, which is the next layer. We're not taking the emotional layer now, because of course, when there's no emotion, the emotions, they're not there either. Even though they seem so real, so solid, while they are thundering and doing all their things, making you cry, making you angry, making you laugh. They're so real, but in the second they're gone, it's as if they never even existed. So they're not solid. Just watch. They're just an energy cloud. As soon as the cloud has evaporated, there's no more emotion. And so we can remove the emotions. They're not solid, they're not real. And we remove the mind and the thoughts. Thoughts aren't real. The mind isn't real. And so that leaves the body. The human body specifically. Unless you're a dog or a cat or a bird or a worm or whatever else. The body then, that's solid. I'm inside of my body. Even if I remove the mind and I remove the emotions, I'm still in the body. I'm stuck in the body. The body is real. The body is all. But is it? Is it really? Or is that another thought? No, look. I have fingers, I have hands, I have feet. I have a solid body. I can touch things. I have sensations. It's real. It's really here. Is it now? Then I suggest you sit still. And you stretch out your hands in front of you. Right now. Do it right now. Stretch out your hands. Open your hands so the fingers are pointing all directions. Both of your hands. Do it right now. Into the air with your hands in front of you. They're there. Okay, you see them. You see them. Then close your eyes while keeping your hands outside of you, out in front of you. Now close your eyes and feel. Feel for your hands, which is stretched out in front of you, with your eyes closed. Feel where your fingers, your hands, your skin ends, and where the space around it begins. Pinpoint exactly where your skin ends and the space around it begins. Keep your eyes closed. Feel right now. Don't think about it. Feel it. Can you feel it? Is there actually a solid edge where your skin ends and where the air begins? Really? Or is it more like some sort of subtle, hard to pinpoint energy cloud thing, weirdness, which is where your hands are merging, blending completely with the space? Isn't that right? Now, while still holding your hands out in front of you, open your eyes and look at your hands. And while looking, tune into the space around them. Feel the space right where your hands are, and then close your eyes again. Feel the space, feel your hands, feel your arms, feel your head, your face, the skin, the contrast between where your head, skin touches the space and air. Can you really pinpoint where that is? Or is it only space? A weird, really hard to pinpoint cloud of some form of mellow energy merging with the space all around. So what does this mean? Is the body real? And if this is your body, not really there, and it can touch other things in this reality, then that must mean they are not really there either. So now you can go close into a wall. Just stand there 5 centimeters away, and then close your eyes and tune into the space, the spaciousness, and feel if you can feel the wall in front of you. Or is it only eternal space? Look deeply like this right now and scrutinize your experience on all levels of your experience until you realize, I'm not actually here as the person I think I am, as the human being I think I am. There is in fact no human being. There is no body. There is no mind. There is no emotion. All of this is taking place in complete nothingness. And what is seeing this? What is perceiving this? Translucency, opaqueness. That. Can you see beyond that, or must it be there? No matter what you remove, this one which experiences this is still here. So when you've stripped away all layers and you're left right here, no body, no mind, no emotions, no physical reality, nothing yet. This perceives still. Awareness exists. And stay here. And congratulations. This is you. This is the perfectness which does not change. This is the perfectness that does not die and cannot be born and will always, always, always stay here right now. No matter what life you're in, no matter what experience you're having, dreams, reality, whatever dimension, you can remove all those layers always, and this which perceives, this nameless being, this oneness, this essence is forever and ever right here. Being this knowingly forever is spiritual enlightenment.